One day we'll have intro music, but like, not today.
Hi, I'm Elanor.
I'm Kalina,
And welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That.
where we kind of talk about movies.
Don't quote us on that?
It's don't quote. Oh yes, I wanted to tell you that. Okay, because I was editing an episode we did, and you said don't quote us on that. And the name of the show is Don't Quote Me on That. And we have to stick to that now because that's all the branding we've done.
Okay.
Our logo say that, so like I can't change the M's to U's right now. Okay.
Okay, alright. Don't quote me on that.
Jeez, it's only don't quote us on that on our socials because like it's the two of us.
There's two of us.
It's a little
Okay.
bit more personal,
Alright.
you know.
Okay. Welcome to Don't Quote Me on That. And today we are going back to our roots on our movie show by talking about songs. But,
you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's my motto.
Exactly. I think if you put a gun to our heads, we could make this a movie. Like, we could make it about a movie. Nobody would be appreciative of it.
No,
and no one would buy it, but we would.
We could make this about a movie. There's a direct link.
That's
tell
true.
you what we're talking about. We're talking about Romeo and Juliet. So, like, if push comes to shove, we just talk about Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio because I don't know any other version of that movie.
Yeah, me either. You don't need to know any other version.
You don't need to know what happened in that movie because it's just the same as every other version of Romeo and Juliet.
That's true. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about Romeo and Juliet just as a concept. I think they're overhyped and overrated.
Yeah. My main sticking point is, someone pointed this out, is Shakespeare only writes 3 genres. He writes comedies, he writes tragedies, and he writes, like, historical dramas sort of thing. He doesn't write romance plays, okay? And so every single person was like, I want to, like, especially in middle school. It's not so bad now. I think a lot more, now people are, like, on it. But, like, when I was in middle school, everyone would, like, love talking about how cute Romeo and Juliet were. And I was like, first of all, they were children. Second of all,
yeah,
there was like 3 people dead
I mean,
at the end,
it makes sense in 8th grade to, you know, lust after an 8th grade love story. But also, don't poison yourself for a guy or a girl or anyone in between outside of that.
Wait a little while. Give it like a little waiting period.
Like, make sure the text says red before you go, whoo! You know, just...
I think the moral of, I'm pretty sure the title of the play is The Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the full title. But I think if we're going to take anything away from the great work of Shakespeare, it's, before you make any rash decisions, I say give it 20 minutes. Like, I know sometimes you just want to do something, so, like, give it 20 minutes. After that, free reign, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe an hour, like, if you're in different time zones. Mm-hmm. But, anyway, today we are talking about songs that are about, songs that, I guess, feature Romeo and Juliet that aren't necessarily about them, but, thank you, Kalina, for knowing English.
One of us has to.
One of us is not me. So we picked 5 songs with Romeo or Juliet or both in the title. We're going to rank them, I think. We're going to chit-chat about them and then do a final ranking. And hopefully I have a final ranking at the end because I don't right now. I already
have my number 1 and it's not going to change. So, like, I'm not too fussy about the ones after that.
Okay. All right. Do you want to talk about them first and rank them last?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we are. We're going to go in chronological order because
we can.
That's how I looked them up. Here. I think the first song was Kalina's pick, so she's going to go ahead and introduce that.
So what happened was Elanor had this idea, and then I was all over it because I love this song. This song is Romeo and Juliet by the Dire Straits, and to no one's surprise at all, my dad introduced me to this song. And this one, I think, is, out of all of them, I think it's the most, like the one that is about Romeo and Juliet. I don't think it just references them. It kind of puts them as characters in a movie instead of a play, really. But basically, they're talking about how Romeo's going around the streets serenading people, and Juliet's like, yo, you can't be doing that, right? And I'll go through the lyrics because I think it'll be a little easier. So, part of the chorus is, Juliet, the dice was loaded from the start, and I bet, and you exploded into my heart. And I forget the movie song, and this part makes me very sad. He goes, when you're going to realize it was just that the time was wrong, Juliet. So basically, it's kind of taking them, it doesn't really focus on the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, and how they could have, I guess they could have been something great, but everything was counting against them from the beginning. Like, they had no hope. Eleanor,
The line you
this for the first time. What did you think?
I did. I really liked this. The line you pulled out was one of my favorites too. I also liked the part he says, when you can fall for chains of silver, you can fall for chains of gold. You can fall for pretty strangers and the promises they hold. I, big surprise, cry very easily. And unrequited love, or like love at the wrong time, that just gets to me. I don't know why I said yes to doing this episode. If I wasn't in the middle of putting on my mascara listening to this song, I probably would have shed a tear or two. I think it does. Yeah, I like, my turn?
No, you go. Yeah.
Okay. I like that it doesn't kind of romanticize the story of Romeo and Juliet, which I think so many things has. The opportunity is right there, but I do like you can like hear the tension.
I think what it does a good job. It does romanticize, but I think part of the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet wasn't they themselves, obviously. Because I think if it were just two kids falling in love, the story obviously would have gone very differently. It was all these outside factors, and people were so worried about reputation and like all these stupid things that like the important stuff kind of fell away. And I think it does a good job of pointing out, like, if it were just you and me, babe. If he has a line, the line is you and me, babe. How about it? If it was just the two of us, everything would be fine. But we had no chance against like literally everything else in the world that was working against us.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a sad mood when I listen to this song, that's just like downhill for when you're gonna realize just the time was wrong. I gotta stop listening after that. Like, it's not good.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be me when I turn on the Lumineers. That's just that's an hour-long escapade.
I know, I just put it on repeat. And one song we were going to talk about was Romeo and Juliet by The Killers. And then we listened to it, and it's just a cover of this song. And I will say, I didn't get all the way through it. I didn't love it. I just think The Killers... And I like a good cover. I do. I just think their vibe... I'm not saying it was a bad cover, but I don't think the vibe that they have was right for this song. I think this song is a little tender, for lack of a better word.
I don't want to say they were too happy about it, but like there definitely wasn't kind of the, like, apparently, allegedly, this song was written after a failed romance the main guy had, and you can definitely feel that in the song. I don't think you could feel that as much in the Killers version.
Speaking of, here's a good line that I think that kind of emphasizes the fail. It says, "You promised me everything. You promised me thick and thin. Yeah, now you just say, oh, Romeo. Yeah, I used to have a scene with him." So, like, oh, yeah, he's just this guy. No, but, like, really, it was a life-ending romance.
Yeah.
It's a little intense, okay?
It's a little intense.
I'm a little sad about this song.
I'm gonna hopefully interrupt Kalina's sadness, because we still have 4 other songs. The worst part of this song...
45 minutes on this one alone.
God, please don't. We don't have the budget for that. Sorry. The worst part of this song is the line, "Juliet, when we made love, you used to cry." Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
I both love and don't love that line, because I think it taps into... I think that's them recognizing how sad, like, they're doomed. But also, yeah, it is not... I don't love that line. But, like...
Yeah.
It depends on what mood I'm in when I'm listening. Line hits different.
Sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm crying right now, dude. I got it.
Sometimes you're like, I feel like this is a personal conversation you need to have and not include us in.
Yeah, if I was a girl listening to this, I'd be like, that was definitely a private moment. But
didn't need the internet to know.
It's a bop, so.
Alright, anyway, that was Romeo and Juliet by the Dire Straits. Highly recommend. Music video. One of the few I have seen, which I keep saying, but I promise it's one of the few. Very cute. It kind of leans into them like being movie characters. Next song, Elanor.
Next song. Yes. The next song, I haven't listened to. Well, I have listened to it, but I didn't listen to it until today, and I picked it just because I thought it would be really fun and different. It's a Dolly Parton song from 1993. It's called Romeo, And Kalina, did you watch the video for this song?
Nope, I only looked at the lyric videos for everything because I wanted to know what they were saying.
Okay, that's fair. That's what I did for most of them, but I had time, so I watched the video for this song, and it was very funny. This song really doesn't have much to do with the actual love story. Mm-hmm. It's about a boy who is hot and is dancing, but she does play a little bit with like Old English, Shakespeare era.
Yeah.
And by a little bit, I mean 2 lines, but...
I thought this song, first of all, very far removed, as far out of left field as you can get from the first song we listened to. But the funny part of this song for me was that Romeo was supposed to be Billy Ray Cyrus.
In the video, Cyrus. He is Billy Ray. Like, it's a...
Exactly, because he sings the Romeo parts, and like, I guess Billy Ray Cyrus was the it man for country at that time, but like, it was a weird example to use.
Allegedly, according to one YouTube comment, so I'm taking that as the gospel, in return for Billy Ray having to do this music video, Dolly Parton agreed to be on Hannah Montana.
Oh.
But I don't know if that's true, because I'm pretty sure Dolly Parton is Miley Cyrus's, like real life godmother, and he was a godmother on the show. But I like that idea. I think it's funny. I'm going with it.
I had a theory, because, you know, I like my theories, is that this is, so the Romeo in this song is the same guy they're singing about in Jolene, right? So this is just before she got him, and he's so desirable. I came up with this 10 minutes ago. Please don't put too much into it. But he's so desirable, she gets him, and then Jolene's like, haha, I could take your man. And she's like, please don't do that.
I think that was just a typo from Shakespeare. It's supposed to be Romeo and Jolene.
Oh, yeah, the Old English name, Jolene.
The best line...
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, the best line is, "Hey Romeo, where art thou? Get out here on the floor. I want to dance you, darling, till you forget wherefore." I don't know if that's linguistically sound, but it's fun.
I was gonna say, I'm a sucker for... I took a square dancing class in elementary school. Now, why we were taught square dancing in South Florida music class, I don't know. But I love square... I'm a sucker for dancing, and I love square dancing. So any song that kind of sounds like it would happen in a barnyard where you're square dancing, I'm sold on that. Like, I didn't want to like this song,
okay,
but just the premise of let's dance together sold me on it.
You did square dancing as part of music class?
Yeah, that was our music class, as we square danced.
I did square dancing as part of PE.
Oh, I don't know, we did in PE. I don't think I went to PE, I'll be honest.
My PE was mostly, here's a bucket of random sports balls. Be back in an hour. Except for one time it was square dancing and all.
I have vague memory.
Forget that.
No, like I remember we spent like a couple weeks on the square dancing business, right? And I was getting it off the cuff, right? And everyone else was having a hard time, and I was so annoyed. But anyway, long story short, I think in PE, I have vague memories of like those like slidey, you know, those colored like squares you used to slide on and stuff like that.
Yes.
And dodgeball. I have vague memories of doing that. But also, I wasn't a child that participated in things.
Kalina, here's a question. Did you walk or did you run the mile?
I think I walked it.
I walked the mile. I think Bill's character getting screamed at by a PE teacher who doesn't get paid enough to deal with somebody walking the mile.
I think a good... Listen, the only PE memory I have was the fact that I didn't do PE in high school because I was in JROTC, and they gave girls like 11 minutes to do a mile, and I'm so sorry. I could like cartwheel a mile in 11 minutes, alright? So yeah, I definitely walked it.
Kalina, I took a whole class period to do half a mile. I didn't... No. It was me and, like, the goth boy just walking as slow as possible.
No, at ROTC, they had a chart, right? And it was, like, gender and age, and that's how much time you had to do it in. And for the boys, the mile was, like, 8 minutes, and for my age group, and then the girls, it was 11, so I was strolling that bad boy the whole time. I was like, I'll see you guys on the other end. Have fun.
I think I could walk a mile faster than I could run a mile because I think my body just doesn't function running. I remember, I have a very vague memory of somebody trying to teach me how to run, and they tried telling me that the best way to run is to run on, like, the balls of your feet, like, run on your tiptoes, and that just made me just lose ability to run, because I was doing it pretty well normally, and then that came in and just...
to run. I'd get, like, too in my head about if I was doing, like, when I'm swimming sometimes, if I, like, get too focused on, like, making, like, sometimes I focus on just my arms, and if I get too focused, I forget what I'm doing, like, and, like, I can't count normally, right? If we're doing anything longer than, like, 100, I didn't count it. I probably did more. I might have done less. We don't know. So if I'm focused, we're, like, when we have swim season, right, we do something, we'll do things with, like, pull only, which is you're only using your arms. Please don't tell me pull only and then give me a number to remember. Because only one of those things is staying in my brain, right?
I have to agree.
This song, back to the topic.
Yes, back to Romeo by Dolly Parton.
I don't think there's too much to, like, it's really not that deep. Like some of the line, like Elanor said, till you forget where for. Let's two-step to a new step. We'll keep it all in line. And we'll call this the Romeo because you're so mighty fine. I thought that was cute. But then they also said that sexy little body, and I didn't like that.
Oh, the worst part is when Dolly Parton says that she's in heat. That is... that took me out. I didn't like that. I had to
pause for a second.
This song, however, was nominated for a Grammy.
Did it win it?
It does not say that it won it. So I'm going to assume that it did not.
Have.
I don't think... It was nominated for a Grammy for Best Country Collaboration with Vocals, which I think is the most specific Grammy.
That's how Elanor and I plan on winning awards. We're just going to get hyper specific about what our niche is.
Exactly. Look, you can be the first in anything if you add enough adjectives.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't want to knock it. I like Dolly Parton. I think she's fun, and she does I always hear she's doing lots of, like, cool stuff. Like, she was funding COVID research and stuff, so I think it's a fun song. I just think we're coming off of Dire Straits, so, like, it's very, very much a jump away from that.
Yeah, the song's definitely the only things they have in common is they both say the word Romeo and Juliet at some point. Mm-hmm. But they're both
I didn't
fun.
like I Wanna Be Your Juliet. I think she says that, and then later on Billy Ray Cyrus says, Won't You Be My Juliet? Because they died at the end of that. And this is going to keep coming up. But, like, if anyone said that to me, I'd say no. I don't want to be your Juliet. I'd be like, didn't they die? And then that'd be the end of the conversation.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember I had to act out Romeo and Juliet when I was reading. I think it was freshman year of high school. So she, like, my English teacher gave us the books. Then we had to, everybody got a character. For some reason, my character was Juliet, but only when she was dead. So I was just laying on the ground. So, like, the pinnacle of my acting experience. Hello. But, like, I have a lot of ties with Romeo and Juliet.
I don't remember the character's name now, but I kept worming my way into playing the guy who, when he was dying, he was making jokes. But he goes, if you call me tomorrow, you'll find me a grave man. Yeah, I did that line.
But, yep, that checks out 100%. I could not tell you who it is, but that's Kalina.
We're media students.
Next song. We are. Next song. Dolly Parton is fun. Good song. Different vibe, still fun.
And moving on to a entirely different vibe than the first two, somehow.
Yes.
We've got Check Yes Juliet by We the Kings. Now, if you haven't heard this song, you have. You just don't remember the name of it, okay? Everyone's heard this song.
I think the full title is Check Yes Juliet, in parentheses, Run Baby Run, which is fair.
Yeah, that's too much.
I think I heard the song a little bit too early in life.
Definitely. I think this and, like, Dear Maria, Count Me In. Well, that was just, everyone heard that at a time when I don't think they were meant to. But it's a cute song.
It is very cute.
I'm, like, skimming the lyrics here. I didn't listen to this right before because I've heard it before.
Yeah.
But I think this one, it's not any more or any less related to Romeo and Juliet than I think Dolly Parton's version. Does he say Romeo? I think he just said Juliet.
He doesn't say Romeo, no. I think it's a titch more connected than the Dolly Parton song, just in the fact that there is that element of our parents don't want us to be together.
Yeah.
One of the lines is, oh, it's my favorite line in the whole song.
She remembers it so well.
And I remember it so well. And, they can't change. I think this, okay, sorry. Apparently the lyric is not what I thought it was, because this page is telling me that the lyric is not what I have been thinking the lyric was for the past 12 years. So,
I be like that sometimes.
I'm gonna need a minute to decompress.
I think the one you're talking about, if I'm right, is it now they can change the locks, don't let them change your mind?
Yeah, I thought it was they can't change the locks, don't let them change your mind. And I was like, yeah, those parents are dumb. You deserve to be in love with that boy. But,
I mean, you weren't that
parents are
far
smart.
off.
Maybe don't run away with some boy in a band.
Again, give it 20 minutes. Think about it.
That's true.
Ask him what his financial plan is. I need to see it for at least the next 3 months, and then I'll consider leaving.
Your financial plan cannot be in a band. That does not count.
I don't care
unless you're like
already making money. I don't want to hear that.
If you have more than one number one hit, that can be your plan.
I
Other than
don't
that,
care if you're like Imagine Dragons or Maroon 5. I need you to have a solid plan that's not be in a band. What if you all get in a fight one day?
yeah, but the
band
royalties. Can you imagine how much royalties, especially like Maroon 5 and Imagine, they've been together forever.
I was thinking, Eleanor, you and I should try to make a song until we get one like big one that just like maybe like a Halloween. You know how Mariah Carey probably be making bank every Christmas, right? I think we make a Halloween song or like a Thanksgiving song maybe, because I don't think there's any Thanksgiving songs. And then we just make bank every year at the same time. Never do it again.
Okay, but then see that wouldn't be a good financial plan. What's your financial plan? Maybe have a hit song. You gotta.
Yeah, but I'm not asking anyone to run away with me. That's the
but
difference.
no, there is a. Oh, why not? I think it'd be fun. Look, punk songs that are like, I hate this town, I hate my dad, I want to run away. Those were toxic for me as a child. Because I wanted to run away. If Mr. whatever his name is from We the Kings showed up and was like, hey, let's go, 12-year-old me would have gotten in that van. Kalina is not connected anymore. So please enjoy, editing Kalina, please enjoy this full minute of me talking. And we hung up. This is so much fun. This is embarrassing for me, actually. Very embarrassing for me. I really thought he said can't change the locks. Hello, I've been talking to myself.
I was still on the phone with you when you called me.
Oh, mine.
It was like, and then accept. I was like, yeah, I'm accepted. I'm on the phone with her right now, man.
Oh, mine said call failed. So anyway, where were we?
I was talking about how I don't want to run away with me, and then you were saying Mr. whatever his name is. And I said Mr. the Kings.
Mr. the King.
Oh yeah, you were saying that this songs about running away from your hometown were toxic for you. That's what you said.
They were. Songs about running away made me want to run away, and I shouldn't have run away. My little ass didn't have anywhere to go.
I never wanted to run away. My brother tried that one time, and he made it to the corner, and my mother said and listen, you should believe her. She was like, I won't let you back in the house. Then he hauled tail back to the house after that. So. He tried that a couple times. Well, he threatened to run away a couple times, and I never got the appeal. I like my house. I like coming home to my house. There's like nothing I like more, so.
It's fair.
What are some other good lyrics?
Kill the Limbo.
Yeah.
The song is very, very repetitive, but repetitive.
It does talk, I do think it also does turn some focus to, again, the tragic part, which I think, I agree with Eleanor, what Eleanor said earlier, is I don't like how, I think Romeo and Juliet's overused and, like, overrated, especially in media, like, references to it. And I get it was very fundamental, and I get why it's important, but, like, I think people take away the wrong bits, so I do appreciate when people focus on the tragedy. Mm-hmm. So, and, like, again, the outside factors, because, for the millionth time, if Romeo and Juliet's families weren't crazy, they'd be alive, right?
Yeah, let's see, here it's, they'll tell it,
Yep, that's
I can't read. Yes.
Don't ever look back. They'll tear us apart if you give them the chance. So, like, and I am not a believer in love being the end all be all. I think those narratives are stupid and I don't like them. But I do I do see the appeal, and sometimes I do like the idea of what you and I have is the only like, not the only important thing, but what you and I have is real, and we can't let what everyone else thinks, what everyone else is doing, change that. Like, I don't think it should be the most important thing in the whole world, but we can't let outside influences affect what we have going on.
Yeah, and I like, kind of to piggyback off that, the kind of idea that love is a choice.
Yeah.
Kind of, you make the choice to put your focus on this person rather than put your focus on pleasing your parents or, you know,
you have
going
to
to
work
college.
at it. I do like when you say you have to work at it, because I think that's true. I don't think... I don't know, I think the whole idea of, like, soulmates and we were meant to be, even if that's true, I do believe soulmates are real in both a platonic and romantic sense, but I still think you have to work at it. You have to want to entertain and you have to want to be soulmates with someone.
Yeah, I do, yeah. There's no situation except for, you know, movies where just meeting a person and loving them is enough.
Yeah. Because, again, there's always going to be outside forces. Sometimes it's quite literally your parents are like, no, don't be together. And sometimes you should listen to your parents. But, like, you know, like, life happens. Like, I always say, like, even now, I don't think I could be with someone because I'm doing school and stuff. And, like, I like, my mental capacity, I've got, like, 2% of my brain left over by the end of the day. You know what I mean? You have to make an effort to dedicate time and energy to someone. And again, just friend, like, Eleanor and I got to block out time just to come sit on FaceTime and chat foolishness for 45 minutes, you know? Like, you got to make an effort.
Yeah.
Next
Love's
one.
choice. Next time.
Anyway, that was Check Yes Juliet. I think it was the anthem to a lot of people. If you were an emo kid, it was probably in, like, your anthem to your childhood, most likely.
Yeah. Or even, like, emo adjacent.
Yeah. I think everyone's heard the song. Even if you don't realize it.
You definitely have.
Yeah. But next song, everyone has definitely heard at some point, and everyone's definitely cried to at some point. I'm confident saying those two things.
Yeah. The next song is Love Story by Miss Taylor Swift. Everyone's heard this. Maybe not everybody has loved it, but at one point, everybody has loved this song.
I was obsessed with this because this is when I was little and I first watched it. The music videos, like, them at a ball. And again, back to the dancing thing. I love me a good dance, right? But I like me a good, like, proper ball gowny kind of dance. So I was just obsessed with this video. And there's one line in here that I could just listen to on loop for, like, ever. And it would make me equally sad and, like, still be the pinnacle of, like, songwriting for me at the same time. I think it's Taylor Swift's best lyric. It's, I got tired of waiting, wondering if you were ever coming around. My faith in you was fading. When I met you on the outskirts of town, which, like, by itself doesn't sound that great, but it's just the first two lines. The way she says, I got tired of waiting. Because I think it goes back to what we were saying about work. She feels like she's putting in this work, and she's like, I'm not listening to my dad. I'm not listening to what other people say. I want to be with you. I want to get married. And Romeo just seems kind of flaky because he's like, no, I don't think we should listen to your dad, and I'm going to go, right? So, I don't know. I just think, I love that. Hits the same every time.
It does. And you can hear it in her voice, and
it's very believable the way she says it.
Yeah, we could do a full episode just on the lyrics of Taylor Swift, but I don't think Kalina would let me do that because it would be 3 hours long, and that's before she got a chance to say anything.
Oh, those are all the thoughts I had on Taylor Swift lyrics. So, I like, and I don't even listen to her version of the song, but I Did Something Bad when she goes, if he spends my change, then I owe him nothing. But if he says my name, then I owe him nothing. If he spends my change, then he had it coming. I think that goes hard. But I don't even listen to her version. I listen to, like, I think it's a heavy metal version of the song because it's on my pre-game playlist. Like, I get hyped up. I'm like, yeah, if he spends my change, then I owe him nothing. Go. Which is true.
Yeah.
Good points. She makes some points.
She frequently does. I have to admit. I had a big Taylor Swift thing when I was little, and by little, I mean,
Yesterday?
It's still going on. The imagery of this song is really nice. I like she says, we keep quiet because we're dead if they knew, you know, playing on the little I don't think Forbidden Love is as sexy as people think it is, but, like, I do like that.
I was saying this, sorry, real quick on the Forbidden Love thing. Why are there so many shows and, like, plot lines about students sleeping with their teachers? I don't get that. Like, I get it's forbidden, but that doesn't mean it's hot. Just because it's forbidden.
No.
That's not the only requirement.
If you want to do a hot pedophilia. Forbidden Love high school, have them fall in love with, you know, the quarterback of the opposing team, not their AP history teacher.
I'll even give you, like, college professor student, because it's legal. I still don't love it, but it's legal.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the power imbalance there.
I don't. Yeah.
I will say like a TA on a college student.
Maybe
that
I
one.
Think college
maybe
student you can get away with because like you're most likely gonna have your professor for one semester, so I will let it slide. I don't love it, but I can understand that appeal. But
as long as it's after that semester.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't get together while you're still in class. I completely agree. But anyway, on the Forbidden Love thing, I think that's
also, if your teacher comes up to you and is like, "Hey, do you want to go make out?" First of all, go tell the principal. Go tell your parents.
Tell them how that happens.
No.
Anyway, one good thing I think about this song is she obviously wrote it when she was young. I think this really taps into, and the first line is "We were both young when I first saw you," but it really taps into they were children. Mm-hmm. I guess playing adults and trying to fight adults, because she talks about how I was crying on the staircase begging you please don't go. And as Elanor said, I think she does a really good job with the imagery of, I can see her standing on the staircase while her dad's like sending the guy away from the door. Because like, what do you know, when you're a kid, you have to do what you're told, but like, you don't want to.
No, you don't. Especially when he's cute. I will say, this is going to sound bad. I don't like that there's a happy ending for this song. Because I think that just plays into romanticizing it just a little bit too much. Because the last line is, he proposes, and he says, you know, I talked to your dad, go pick out a white dress.
I don't like that because I don't get where the turnaround happened. Also, now that I'm looking back at the song, I'm not sure what the issue was. So now I'm iffy, you know? Because, like, why did they not want them to be together? Was it just because, you know, was it a family thing? Because she doesn't make that clear. I guess we're supposed
it sounds like it's just her family. Yeah. But then she says, I was a scarlet letter, which means that she was an adulterer. And I don't know why her dad would be mad at her being an... If anything, that's his parenting, but like...
Well, he said, listen, you already got one strike. You only got one. But yeah, and people were using this a lot. I'm sure this gets used as a wedding song a lot, but people were using the bit, I saw it online a lot, about he knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring, and I was like, you all are ignoring the best part of the song, first of all. But like, I just feel like, again, back to lyrically, there's like the rest of the song so much, like that one's just so on the nose about what's happening, whereas the rest of it, I think she does construct it without basically spoon feeding you what's going on.
Yeah, and now that I'm looking over the lyrics, I really like your point about it being kind of like tapping into them being children, because it is it's not childish, but it's a very, I don't know, kind of adolescent take on love, especially like, you know, she calls her father daddy, and, you know, it ends in this big happy, let's get married.
And it's not very concrete. Like, she doesn't talk about specific things. Like, she's talking about escape this town for a little while, and like all these little things where I think if they were older, it would be a bit more concrete and long term, if that makes sense. Here she's just kind of like, we gotta run away so we can be together, and all these little moments and ball gowns and stuff like that.
I will say, ball gowns go off.
She makes some points. She always does.
Yes.
It's cute.
Good
Also,
song.
Another thing, the second line is I close my eyes and the flashbacks start. So is this like, is this after they got married? She's like thinking about this, or is it after he proposed?
I think so. I think that's the point, because, you know, or maybe it's right after he proposed, or maybe it's like when they're running away and she's like starting to hate him a little bit because he doesn't know how to plan a flight. You know, they had 10 minutes to get from gate. Yeah. They had to cross terminals. That sends everybody into a tizzy, and she was like, okay, I was standing there.
Again, I don't think love should be your end-all be-all, but the idea of marry me, Juliet, you'll never have to be alone is really nice. But again, I'm trying to figure out when he talked to her dad and what the turnaround point is. I would like Miss Taylor Swift, if you could clarify that for me. Nothing would make me happier.
That's true.
Because
I have to imagine it was when she was standing out there being sad, and she was like, he never does anything, and then he's like, you thought, let's get married, and she's like, okay.
That's the other thing. Like, they really just went from point A to point. Like, they just went from one end of the spectrum to the other. As we can't see each other. Okay, now we're married. I need some filler info in between, please.
Well, that's how it works.
It should.
Your parents got married in like 6 months, so.
Yeah, and I don't recommend that for everyone. Are they together and happy? Yes. Is that a fluke? Probably.
Oh,
If you ask my mother, she'll say the same thing.
Okay, alright. Well, I guess that makes it okay then.
Obviously, Vanessa Anderson's word is law. If we
That's
learn nothing
true.
else on this podcast, remember that.
It's always listen to Kalina's mother.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is a good song. I was obsessed with this. It was this and You Belong With Me, obviously. Those were like, that was it, you know? If you were sad about a boy, which I wasn't, but like if you were pretending to be sad about a boy, these were your go-tos.
If you're sad about a boy that you've never said a word to, and he doesn't know you exist, you pull out the Taylor Swift. Oh my god, White Horse, no. White Horse is destructive.
Yeah, it was my favorite one. Are you surprised?
No. Again, Kalina needs to talk to somebody.
Yes, that's what you're here for. Next song.
Next song. It is by Bob Schneider. I can't read. My bad. It's called. I did pick a song. It's called 40 Dogs, like Romeo and Juliet. And I will be honest, mostly I picked it because I didn't realize that The Killers was a cover. But
I didn't love this song, but I think it's got the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets a little. I think it's trying a little too hard, maybe. But I definitely think the essence is there. I do think it's the least Romeo and Juliet related, but like I think the idea of like we're in love and this we got to protect this love right here is I think that's again right idea.
I would say it's the second least. I think Miss Dolly Parton was the most far removed.
The word Romeo
he does say, it's not as easy as I said it would be, but there's something right about you and me. So that's, a little bit. But mostly this is a love song and it could be about anybody.
Yeah, or when the whole world falls into the sea, we'll be living ever after happily. But
because they're dead.
Cute stuff. When I was watching the video, someone had commented this, because I couldn't find a lyric video for this one. And someone had said the best part was, you're the color of the color part of the Wizard of Oz movie. Which, out of context, was cute, right? But the verse before that is, you're the color of the storm in June. You're the color of the moon. You're the color of the night, that's right. Color of a fight. You move me. You're the color of the color part of the Wizard of Oz movie. And by the end of that, the word color doesn't sound real anymore.
No, it doesn't.
If he had maybe 1 or 2 lines of color, I think it would have worked. It would have hit better, but
yeah.
I do think that's cute. Then, Wizard of Oz was the first movie in color, so that's sweet.
It was. In the end, he goes back to color too, and he says, "Turn the sky black into a sky blue. Turn the color shade into a hoo-hoo."
Yeah, I don't think he tried very hard.
No,
I think he was running out of rhymes by the end.
Yeah,
I don't get the chorus. We're Romeo and Juliet. We're 40 dogs, cigarettes. What does it? That second part doesn't sound good. Well, the first part also doesn't sound good, but the 40 dogs cigarette part doesn't sound like something I want to be a part of.
It definitely has a little bit of nonsense.
Sometimes you remind me of a moonbeam, or the ghost of a moonbeam out on the beach. He was definitely running out of rhymes at the end. Again, I think it's cute, and I do think when you're with someone and you're like, oh, I just like this person so much, you might start to babble nonsense. I see people online all the time where it's like like what funny names do you call your partner? And you're like, my little sweet potato. Or like in French, one common nickname is my little cabbage. And like, who was like, that's a term of endearment. So I guess when you really like someone, your brain's just so muddled with them. Anything sounds good, I suppose.
Well, I did look it up because I think we needed to put ourselves out of the misery. Apparently, 40 dogs is slang for a 40-ounce beer. And so it's kind of like we go together like beer and cigarettes, which is, we go together even though it might be a bad idea. I think perhaps could be what he was going for. But it makes it makes more sense than 40 canines chilling on cigarettes.
I understand his reasoning for choosing the line now. Doesn't make me like it anymore.
No.
Another good line. Well, you're the color of a burnt rug. If someone said that to me,
that'd be a hate crime.
I'd call it cops. Okay. You're the color of a sideways look from an undercover cop in a comic book. Like, what does that mean, Bob? Mr. Schneider, can you please clarify something for me?
It means that it's time for us to do our ranking, so we can not look at this song anymore. And maybe Elanor isn't allowed to choose things.
You're the color of a burnt rug. I call the cops on you. Okay. Anyway. Let's rank our songs.
All right, let's rank these.
You go first.
Me go first? All 5 of them? All just one fell swoop?
Yeah. How else would you
Okay. I don't know. Maybe we want to mix it up, go backwards. My favorite song. My favorite song is the Dire Straits song. Is anybody surprised? No, it's the most competent song on the list. And then We the Kings, and then Dolly Parton, and then Taylor Swift, and then Mr. Bob.
Really?
I think so.
Interesting. Okay, I went Dire Straits, Taylor Swift, We the Kings, Dolly Parton, and then, sorry, Mr. Schneider, but I need some clarification first, and then maybe your song will get bumped higher on the list. But like, also probably not. I think Dire Straits, like we said, I think that was the most on the nose, and I think it focused on the important part, which is the tragedy. Love story, I think. I did romanticize it, but I think it did it in the best way. And then the rest were kind of like just a few steps removed from the actual storyline. They were like, oh, this is a thing people like and talk about when it comes to romance. Let's use them.
I did mine in order of how fun they were, or how fun I thought they were. But the Dire Straits one, I thought, was just the best because, I don't think you could bop to it while driving, but I think it's the most competent as a song.
Surprised.
I would not be surprised by you bopping to that, actually. I've been in your car.
Are you driving down to Pink Floyd? Let's go. No, I think
playlist.
I like this. We should do something like this again. If
this was fun, yeah.
Tropes in songs you want us to talk about, I'm all over that. I like looking at lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good lyric breakdown. That's what I did. I wormed my way into doing that for my dissertation. It was not scientific in any way, shape, or form. I just found what I did is I wrote what I had to say, and then I just found sources that backed it up. That's
what I did with my dissertation. I picked something I knew a lot about. I wrote about it using my memory and all my conviction, and then I was like, I should make sure this is right. And mostly it was.
Yeah, I had a theory. I had a hypothesis, and I was like, this is what the end result's going to be. And then I just wormed my way into that being correct. Mm-hmm. And now I have a degree. So.
And
was that a mistake?
Will probably have a degree. You're going to have 2 degrees soon, and hopefully they're not a mistake, because it'd be a very expensive mistake.
I work for the second one, I will tell you that.
Oh,
this one
okay.
is
all right.
A labor of, not love, but whatever.
It's a labor.
It's a labor. Of spite.
God. Who told you couldn't do it? Who were you spiting?
Not spite. It's a labor of, I told everyone I was going to do this, and now I got to.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
I think
we're trying to keep these short, because...
Shorter.
You ever edited an hour and a half worth of us talking? not good. And you guys are missing out on a lot of content, so we want to condense it all for you, so you don't miss out on anything.
Yeah. It's all for you.
Obviously.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. We will be back next Thursday where we talk about whatever we think of first.
Unless you have a suggestion. And if you're not dropping suggestions, then it's all your fault if we talk about not a movie.
Exactly. We're going to end up talking about Twilight if nobody says anything.
And no one wants that because we went down that road. And it was fun
and we have not come back up.
No. Anyway, I have been Kalina.
And I have been Elanor. And remember
to... me on that.
It has been Don't Quote Me on That. But you can find us on Instagram at Don't Quote Us on That. And all the rest are in the description.
Instagram bios. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the description. So tune in next week. We will see you then. Thank you.
Bye.
One day we'll have outro music, but not today.